Yes, so welcome to the Standard Bank School Sports Live here at Grey PE in Port Elizabeth. Some fantastic rugby that's just been played. Last three games, Hudson Park went up 24-14 to St. Benedict's. St. Albans College beat Graham College 10-7, and the upset of the day so far, Framesby winning 52 to DHS's 10, running in 8 tries to 1. So certainly a fantastic performance there by Framesby. Want to say how's it to Kennedy? Morning, Kennedy.
Morning. It's good to our viewers. Welcome to this, what has been an excellent festival so far. And you can say that again, that's the match that we just watched, Framesby and DHS. Excellent match and quite an upset.
Yes, and Andrews College first team, Basi Matlesu, Chris Poole, Bam Maleso, watch out for Dylan Wilson and Matthew Hillary. And looking at the back line there, Connor Stulich, Guy Rashmere, as well as Nicholas Rogan, who's on at 20. Watch him coming on to the side. You know anything about the St. Andrews side?
Well, I know that they always are well coached and very precise in what they do. They're well conditioned and they've got some excellent ball runners that run out wide. And it's going to be good to see how they match up with what is obviously a matured St. John's College team that had most of their players were juniors last year, and they retained a lot of them, and they obviously on the screen now.
St. John's looking at Callan Wills as well as Benjamin Renical. Watch out for number 11, Daniel Deeks as well. Big shout out to his mom Jackie, she's the head of marketing for St. John's. Big shout out to you watching School Sports Live, and you can catch that on Facebook, YouTube, and streaming live throughout the globe. What a fantastic opportunity, Kennedy, to get it out.
Definitely is, and I think another player to watch out for is Michael Bates, the number 9. He's probably one of the quickest and high-tempo moving scrum halves that I've seen at schoolboy level so far. He had a good game last week, obviously against St. Albans, which I wasn't too pleased about, but he was in excellent form. They've got good unity because obviously the majority of their players were grade 11 last year, so they've retained that core, and that's going to help them in this match because St. Andrews always formidable.
St. John's is hosting the Easter Festival as well, 18th, 20th, 22nd of April. It's the 4th year that School Sports Live will be covering this event. That's happening up in Johannesburg. St. John's is hosting it. As I said, Jackie is the head of marketing at St. John's, Jackie Deeks, and wishing your son Daniel all the best here today here at Grey.
No, definitely.
PE.
It's going to be an exciting tournament. Always St. John's put on a wonderful festival, and that's between the Grey PE Festival and that one. Two excellent schoolboy tournaments that the supporters we can see have come out in numbers to always come and cheer on their family members, and it's an excellent platform for young boys to be able to get that pathway of rugby in South Africa.
Ref is Michael Collier. This is apparently it's going to be on Saturday's 8th game in 16 days. So they're using the ref. He was old grey boy as well. I had a good chat with his dad, Frank Collier, just before the game now. And what a fantastic man he is. Very proud of his son, and wishing obviously Michael a great game today. Being also checked up with the SA ref. So good to see that our locals are getting a look at when it comes to reffing.
Yeah, and we can see the St. John's team there, so focused and ready. This team has got great composure, and it's going to be interesting to see how they match up against the St. Andrews team.
Kenny, you know anything about the St. Andrews coaches, St. John's coaches?
Yeah, well, not too much about the coaching system, but I mean, what I know is that they've got a good platform of their younger age groups are doing well. Some of them, we've seen them, the under 14s and 15s are playing right here at the tournament with the other fields. They've got so much skill, and the type of rugby that they're playing is entertaining. So that's something that we're going to look out to. It's going to be tight because I think they're two similar teams that play against each other.
Shout out Pascal Bolle College, Ross Nagel, Come College, #SSL Rugby. And the boys really pumped up, G'd up for this. What a fantastic opportunity for youngsters, Kenny. We didn't get that opportunity when we were younger.
Yeah, that's the thing.
In Zim
you know that we never got, but it's good for them to be able to, for me, the under 14s and 15s, that they see that the first teams are playing on this main ground. And I've got to say that this ground is looking absolutely in great condition.
Well, School Sports Live certainly put us on a bird's eye view here at Grey PE. And let me tell you, this field is in pristine condition.
Yeah, definitely is. And we were speaking about the refs earlier on. You know, it's becoming quite, you know, a platform where a lot of players that don't continue playing, you know, professional rugby can look to get involved into refereeing, because that's something that we sort of short in numbers, and we can see why a ref has refed like 8 games in 10 days or whatever it is. We really are short. So for me, that in supporting how the refs go, and I know it gets frustrating for the coaches and the parents, but you know, I've stepped in the middle of the field, also trying to ref, and you know how it is. Everybody is right who's commenting from the side of the field. Everyone knows what the rules are, so it's not easy. It's not an easy job. So I'd like to, you know, give a shout out to the referees that are pushing it and continuing to get out there and help, you know, ref our young boys.
Well, you're a little bit of a legend yourself. Zim Rugby, then came across to Free State. Absolute legend there. You were like you're almost the mayor. Tell us about that. Your experiences.
The most corrupt mayor that the Bloom has had, but yeah, it's good, you know, to have the privilege to still be involved in the game. Coaching. And there's so much talent. I mean, I didn't realize, because we're always involved in the professional game up at the top, but since I've been involved at schoolboy level, there's absolutely so much talent across the board. When you look from north, south, you know, from the Eastern Cape, there's so much talent, and that's something that you know, we are privileged to be able to witness. And I think, you know, us being able to cover such games and having, you know, the whole country, and some are watching from overseas, they must enjoy it.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, people can tune in anywhere in the world to watch this, and that's fantastic. Old boys tuning in to watch their old schools. Talent scouts as well, looking at possible universities needing players. It's exciting, and it's exciting for these youngsters that they've got that platform to perform, and then get an opportunity to get an education as well.
No, for sure. And I mean, if I can tell you that, I think I bumped into about 6 of the university scouts that are here already, trying to ask me.
And a couple of French ones as well.
Yeah, and trying to ask me which are the boys to look out for. And I said, well, look out for all of them.
All of them, yeah.
You know, there's some boys that are playing some.
I don't know if you got to see that Framesby game. Their number 6 and 7 were outstanding. Flahoff, brilliant as well. Definitely. Some good players there.
Yeah, and you know, obviously looking, if you cross the field from the Framesby, DHS themselves have got so much talent. And that's why it was an upset. But St. John's make their way onto the field with their inspirational leader.
And here comes St. Andrews. Boys are pumped up. And still nice to see that hiss when the boys run on. It gives me goosebumps still, getting that feeling back in 1995, running onto the field for Dell.
Yeah, and that's the most impressive thing, and it's the most encouraging thing, that the school spirit is still alive within you know, a lot of the supporters.
Well, School Sports Live, bringing you rugby across the globe to people all over. We've got people from New Zealand, we've got people UK tuned in, and please drop us a line on School Sports Live, either on your Twitter, #SSL, or you can get through on our YouTube, School Sports Live, Facebook, School Sports Live, and youtube.com at School Sports Live. Follow us as well at School Sports Live on Facebook.
It's going to be interesting to see which type of kickoff St. John's uses here. Obviously don't tend to split, but they're looking to kick from to the left-hand side deep. And of course, their fly-off is an all-round athlete. You know, he does a bit of high jumping, a bit of track and field, so he's a real athlete, and he's got a good strike of the boot.
We're talking about Bismarck Olivier.
Yeah.
School Sports Live, you can get us. Facebook, YouTube. Good take there by St. Andrews. A little bit behind the gain line, but a good leg drive there by their number 2, Chris Poole, EP Craven Week 2018. Good long pass there to number 13, Jason Thomas. Kicked out. That'll take them back to just over their 22. And it's going to be St. John's ball.
Yeah, just a slice on the side of the boot there by Jason Thomas, who had a bit of a gap on the outside. He could have just offloaded to his winger, but he opted for the kick. Right decision, but the wind sort of just blew out. Has a bit of an overthrow, but St. John's continue with the pass.
Good defensive line there by St. Andrews. Boys are going to have to shift across. Got a couple of EP Cravenweek players from last year, 2018, in this St. Andrews side. Just too long. Ref Michael Collier calls them back.
Yeah, of course he was playing advantage because they had started pushing up on the outside at St. Andrews, and as I mentioned, the scrum off taps it quickly and goes. Michael Bate, that is.
Festival rugby kind of a little bit more expansive. Boys taking the quick tap where normally a structure would put it out.
Yeah, it's a bit,
coaches get a little bit iffy if you just tap and go. But I think festival rugby, it's nice to see the running rugby. I think guys are still a little bit unfit, a little bit unsure of each other defensive wise.
Yeah.
That's why I think the quick tap and go I've seen in the last games, the quick tap and go is working.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, to just think about it, a lot of the sides, this is probably their second or third game of the season. So, you know, they're still trying to find the right combinations. And that's where a player like Michael Bate is going to tap and run at you.
Great ball there, down to number 10, Guy Rashmere. Good leg drive there by their number 1, Basil Malesu again. Good take up there by number 4, Braden Barrett. Yeah, falling over the ball there. Number 12, Miles Dackwood, EP Country 2018. Guy Rashmere. Ref bringing us back, Michael Collier bringing us back to just over St. Andrews' 10-yard line. Penalty.
Yeah, of course the lock had just pressed out a line quickly, and the refs are really watching this offside line because a lot of teams are trying to press just to try and catch, because as we mentioned, it's festival rugby, there's a lot of expansive play, so everyone's trying to make sure that the ball doesn't get to the wing. But I'm glad the refs are watching that, because it just sort of slows down the continuity that a lot of the teams are trying to do.
Chris Paul's going to feed the ball into the line-out chair. Played for EP Cravenweek 2018. Their whole front row played EP. Good jump there by number 5, Daniel Cook. Met in defence there on the gain line. Good another hit up there by Braden Barrett. Connor Stulik looking for more possession there, get the balling out. Connor Stulik. Guy Rashmere. Jab through from Guy Rashmere. Ref Guy Collier calls the boys back. Offside line. And St. Andrews certainly looking very powerful up front. Like I said, they've got their 1, 2 and 3 all played EP Cravenweek 2018.
Yeah, and that's something that's standing out, is their attacking shape is really well coordinated. And I mean, with Rushmore controlling and just pulling the strings, and he's got accurate passing, that's going to be good in terms of their build-up. And it's going to be interesting to see whether they look to try put the drive on with some of these tall locks from St. John's. It's going to be interesting to see how they work out their drives.
Good kick there from Guy Rashmere over the 22 of St. Andrews, putting pressure here now on St. John's. Great back ball. Perfect sack as well. Rashmere. Number 15, Ryan Ford. Yeah, big number 8 coming through. Matthew Hillary, EP Country 2018 as well. Big boy. Rashmere. Met in defense there was Basi Malesu. Rashmere guiding his backs. Certainly controls the backline nicely. Oh, hard luck there to Miles Dackwood. Turnover there, St. John's.
Oh, that's rather unfortunate. because they really had built up well. I mean, it's good to see that they didn't, when the drive was sacked quite well, the backs looked to move it out wide, and a lot of teams, when they get into that zone, they try hit it up close rather just try to keep it tight.
Yeah.
With St Andrews backline's got good confidence to be able to move it with some slick passing, and just a bit of a knock on at the end there. That's stopped.
Quick point of interest as well. Basi Malesu, number 1, and Bame Malesu, both EP Cranberry 2018, are also part of the SA Green Squad.
Yeah.
So the future is certainly looking bright for those two young boys.
Definitely, they've got a good foundation. Do have St Andrews with a front row like that. You can always win games with a good front row.
How important is your prop?
Oh yeah, that's key.
Ask Robbie Kempson.
Yeah, no, definitely. Robbie only talks about props. He doesn't know that there's other positions on the field, does he?
So, St Andrews ball just outside the 22 of St John's. Are they going to go to number 5? Daniel Cook takes the ball nicely. Sorry, my apologies. It's number 8, Matthew Hillary. Taken 2 really good balls, Matthew Hillary. Good pick up there from Chris Paul. I like this number 2, Chris Paul, playing good rugby, good skills. Oh, here comes the big boy, number 3, Bame Malesu. Met in his tracks. Well, certainly setting the phases is St Andrews, looking nice and strong.
Definitely, there's some good continuity here. And some good decisions, mixing it up, playing with the forwards a little bit as they do there with the pod, and obviously then the next pod is getting set up with that front row.
Connor Stulich, scrum off for St Andrews. Just controlling it there. Oh, knock on. Turnover here to St John's. Festival Rugby, run it on your on your try line.
Definitely. Attack from all options and any options.
I don't think the coach will be saying that there.
Definitely. Good counter-racking.
Big counter-rack there.
Yeah, just the errors are telling up against the St Andrews in that zone, and let's hope they don't struggle in terms of getting extra points when they need to, because when they're in that 22, you've got to put on points. Find out that St John's will have one chance and strike, and that's what happens when you've been knocking on the door for so long.
The start 5 certainly cementing for St Andrews the structure. You've got those 2 locks, Braden Barrett and Daniel Cook, doing some seriously good work here in the first 8 minutes.
For sure, and Chris Paul, he's an excellent hooker. He's found his mark, great throwing in, and that's given them a good platform to be able to put early pressure on St John's.
So ball feed there from Michael Bate.
This is going to be a great tussle because St John's front row has also got some strong players, as we can see there. Wills, who's at loose head, really puts pressure.
Got a big number 5, Alexander Groves.
Yeah,
big boy.
Definitely. I think he's close to one of the tallest locks in schoolboy rugby.
Yeah.
They do push him up in front of the lineout to challenge most hookers, and it must be daunting. But we can see Chris Paul has thrown excellently.
Michael
especially.
Bate. Bismarck Olivier. Good tackle there by number 13, Jason Thomas from St Andrews. Good defensive line there, St Andrews. Number 15, Ryan Ford, secures it nicely. Passes to Lloyd Costa. Long pass there to number 12, Miles Dackwood. Great leg drive there. Stulich. Jason Thomas running in. Calls there of obstruction. What I do like is Guy Rashmere, the way he controls. He's certainly the general there, Kenny.
No, definitely a good general, and just the way they're mixing it up, hitting with the forwards, and then obviously letting the backs run at them as well. This is good, balanced attack patterns.
Big number 1, Bezi Malesu. Big pass there to number 14, Lloyd Costa. Lloyd Costa still going. Oh, knocked on. Hard luck there, Lloyd Costa. 2 hands on the ball.
He almost did a chicken wing little flick pop that could have been magical, but ended up being disastrous.
I was going to say, I think the number 1 and number 3 eat a lot of chicken wings.
Yeah, for sure.
Built like bricks.
Yeah, but it's just worrisome that St Andrews is knocking and not able to finish it off. That should be a bit worrisome for the coaching staff. And I mean, we spoke about the coaching staff earlier on. Andy Royal from St Andrews also used to be involved at Wits. He's very astute coach, and he's accurate. As you can see, the patterns and the way the team is doing their attacking patterns. It's well thought out. You can see that.
The front row there of St John's: Kellen Wills, James Ives, and Tozo Dlamini.
Yeah. Of course, Dlamini been involved in the Lions setup through Grand Chromo. He's a real powerful scrummer, and that's quite a key facet of St John's play, and that they get a lot of the foundation from there, enough to give Michael Bate a good platform to speed up that tempo of type of game that he likes to play.
Man at the back there, number 8, Tane Maynard, vice captain, and the number 7, Luke Close, gives a big shout out there, captain of the St John's side. Very chuffed, and I think they deserve it. I think the pressure was on. They've absorbed the pressure from St Andrews, haven't they?
They definitely have, and we spoke about it, that what usually happens is that when they get one chance to strike, they end up striking.
Yeah.
But they just need to get out of their own half. I'm not sure which side the wind is blowing, because it seems to be circling up. Yeah. But if they do have the wind behind their back, they've got to use the boot and just get out of their territory.
Yeah. St John's playing towards the scoreboard here at Grey P. This is the Standard Bank Grey PE Festival. Beautiful ball there by number 6, Benjamin Renikel. Pointless kick through there, straight to number 11, Ben Alika. To number 2, Chris Poole. Exciting player, Chris Poole. Makes 10 meters. Connor Stulich. Oh, a little bit of miscommunication there between the number 10, Guy Reshmir, and then number 12.
Yeah, just a couple of errors coming back and forth, and you've got to love the look of Chris Poole.
School Sports Live Day 1 results. We had Hudson Park. Hudson Park took on St Benedict's. They won 24-14. St Albans College won 10-7 against Graham College. And Framesby absolutely thrashed DHS. Probably the upset of the tournament so far. 52-10. 8 tries to 1.
Yeah, ouch.
Beautiful rugby to watch, actually.
Yeah, that's a big one for DHS. You know, they've got a lot of activities happening in their rugby program, and to get a score like that, that's not a great start to the year.
No.
So hopefully they'll bounce back on Saturday. But St Andrews have got to look to try close up and get a try here and put enough pressure.
Number 15, Ryan Ford. They're getting the wave up to number 4, Braden Barrett. Certainly setting up the pods. Number 7, Dylan Wilson. They've got a nice big pod coming up here with the 2 big boys. It's just that point of getting the ball, moving it to the second runner. Kenny, I don't know, the gaps are there for the second runner. There.
Yes, just what we call the +1. So just the extra pass on the outside. And I think the ball is just a little slow here for St Andrews.
Here we go. Chris Poole.
There's a big, strong runner. He reminds me a bit about Bismarck Duplessis. Got that big frame. And again, we spoke about the ball coming out slow. As St John's have turned it over, they really are defending their line. They've spent close to 14 minutes in their 22. Sure. And just can't get the exit. You'd like to see, you know, Bismarck Olafia get the ball out of the 22 and just give them a bit of breathing space.
Great point there, Kenny. What I've noticed in the games being played, guys are not utilizing the wind properly. You put them down into the corners of the 22, put the pressure, and then the line-out is yours. Or, you know, put the pressure onto the boys.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether they've got that festival mentality.
Yeah,
but you still got to play tactical rugby and use, if you're in Port Elizabeth, you've got to use the wind.
The
Or
friendly
else-
windy city.
Or else the wind will use you.
Big number 6, Benjamin Renical. Oh, good tackle there by St. John's. I think their centre there was their centre, Jack Montgomery.
Yeah, a rather interesting call because I think Bismarck Olafia just knocked on the ball. St. Andrews hadn't got any advantage, and now he's got a penalty for holding on the ball. A rather tough call there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting how this this wind factor, plays its part whenever teams come to Port Elizabeth. I remember when we again used to play. You used to play at the old Buti Erasmus Stadium,
Yeah.
where the wind would come hurling in. So before you make a kick, we could see there just a slight knock on, and you would think that St. Andrews would get advantage. But here's the tackle here, and they were blown for holding on. Yeah, but it's quite interesting how the wind plays its factor, and whoever uses it, strategically ends up getting advantage.
Crowd certainly filling up here. I think there's going to be obviously the big games coming up later today.
Yeah.
Selborne College is down from East London. We've got obviously the host, Grey P, are the main game for
for the day. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. JP obviously travels all the way from Joburg by road. They stopped through, played Queens for a game a bit, and now made their way to come here. So it's a long old road, and hopefully they will be in good nick to put on a good performance later on.
Big kick not out there by St. John's. Counter attack by number 14, Lloyd Costa. Lloyd Costa still going. Oh, great offload there to number 12, Miles Dackwood. Clean heels there. Rashmir. Big number 8, Matthew Hillary. EP player, EP country, 2018. Big number 12, Miles Dackwood again. Every time he touches the ball, he makes 10 or 15 meters.
And then Chris Paul gets the ball as well.
And he makes
a
some more.
couple.
Just give it to those two.
Dackwood again.
Here he goes again. Big number 12, Miles Dackwood. Rashmir. Dylan Wilson. Good leg drive there by Dylan Wilson. Still on his feet. Excellent there. Oh, great inside pass there to number 4 to Braden Barrett.
Again, St. John's counter-rucking, but coming from the side, the ref is going to give a penalty advantage.
Let me tell you, Braden Barrett, number 4 for St. Andrews, certainly has got the looks of being a great player.
Yeah, and I'm also very impressed by Dackwood. He's got a wonderful step, and he's a strong ball carrier. And Guy Rushmore is lucky to have an inside centre who's able to just make some good meterage.
Well, the heat is on here. St. Andrews ball into the corner on the 5-yard attacking. They are playing towards the beer tent of here at the Grey P Festival, Centre Bank Grey P Festival. It is the 25th year currently, so a lot of history into this festival as well.
There is, and it's got so many teams and so many schools from all over the country, and that's what makes it a special tournament.
Good take there by number 8, Matthew Hillary. Also an EP Country 2018 player. Oh, it's lovely to watch. Lovely to watch forwards. Kenny, how excited do you get as a number 10 just to see the power of those forwards?
I don't know. I tend to close my eyes, but I know as long as the try is scored, we don't complain. But that's a wonderful work try. Well deserved, because they have been knocking on for the past 15 minutes.
The only problem is when you get a prop at the back, then he scores, you'll never hear the end of it.
No, never. That tail goes on until the end of the day, to the next game.
Couldn't go to a more deserved person right now. Chris Paul, number 2.
Definitely for that excellent throwing, and he controlled it well at the back. He didn't panic. He just kept his composure there to make sure a lot of people, when they get close to the try line, they try pull out from that ruck and make an error.
White line fever.
Yeah, definitely. He stayed attached.
Jesus.
He definitely stayed attached.
Can you try to fix it for me? Close it. That's a kick from St Andrews.
Yeah, a really tough kick because the wind is just blowing straight into his face, and you know he couldn't strike the ball to get it even off the ground.
So St Andrews 5, St John's 0. 20 minutes gone here at the Sannebank Grey PE Festival here in Port Elizabeth. Kennedy Simba sitting right next to me, ex-Zimbabwean, ex-Free State legend. And I said to him he's the mayor. He said probably the most corrupt mayor. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, it's important that St John's try get the ball into hand and just, you know, spend some time within St Andrews' half. Well, that's a great offload, but with the continuity that St Andrews have shown so far, obviously attacking blind, and that's cleverly with these big boys running at them.
Unfortunately, Rashmir just couldn't find his lock. Number 4. Sorry, he's number 8, Matthew Hillary. Quite a few EP players as well. I see Bosang Mile, number 6 for St Andrews, played for the Grand Coma under 16s in 2018.
Yeah, just looking at how Hillary was just drifting on that pass slightly.
Yeah.
Rushmore wasn't able to just find him as he was drifting. You could see obviously had identified space out wide.
Absolutely beautiful day for rugby. No rain in sight. Wind, as expected in Port Elizabeth.
For sure.
A feed there by number 9, Michael Bate.
Quite interesting that the St John's scrum is going backwards a little bit.
Shark Bowman to 13, Jack Montgomery. Montgomery still on his feet. Michael Bate. Good long pass out there to number 10, Bismarck Olivier. A little bit behind the gain line. Oh, unfortunate there for number 8, Tane Maynard.
Yeah, it's rather flat attack by St John's there because they were really standing flat. And with that, you know, sometimes you feel that the space is on, and because you're so flat, you just end up, you know, passing laterally. I just feel that with some of the big ball runners, St John's has just got to look to try hit it up the middle a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, just to maintain ball, because the wind is blowing as you try pass those long passes. It's just catching the ball in midair, and that makes it difficult for the guy receiving the ball. So maybe
I think that's a bit of an
tight.
experience though. Maybe getting the guys to move a little bit closer in this wind.
Yeah,
a little bit more depth as well, so that you can run onto the ball if it does veer off a bit.
Away, yeah.
Right, ball coming in there for Michael Bate, St John's. It's a good feed in.
They really are under pressure. We spoke about it. Those EP Craven Week props, that front row is really putting pressure on the St John's front row.
Yeah, Basi Malesu, Chris Poole and Bame Malesu.
I wonder, are they twins or brothers or...
What did mom feed Malesu's?
Yeah, I want to know what is being fed in the Malesu's household.
Whatever it is, it's good stuff.
It definitely is, because they are looking in good condition. They've put pressure on every single scrum.
They're strong.
They're carrying ball in the loose, and you know that's what you look for in our provincial players.
And they G'd up. You know, you win a scrum like that. Quick ball from Michael Bates, Bismarck Olivier. Forward pass.
Again, they've had such minimal ball, and they can't get any continuity. Every time they try and run, there's a knock-on or a wrong decision. There it was a little front-on pass, a slight forward, but obviously you could see that the centre's buying time for the short runner to come, and you know sometimes
I think Thomas Kilbourne, the number 12, just needs to stand a little bit deeper. A little bit deeper, and then running either at a 45 to get that pass. He's just kind of overrunning number 10, Bismarck Olivier, at the moment.
Yeah, you
can see that replay.
There it is. He had, you know, he was trying to wait for him to come.
Yeah, instead of hitting the gap at full pace.
You know, just committing his defender.
Yeah. Number 9, Connor Stulik. St John's pushing in too hard. Yeah.
Of course, Will's trying to get the hit on because, you know, they've struggled the past 2 scrums. So he's was trying to get an early shove there, and the ref blew the penalty for that.
It takes St Andrews up to exactly just a little bit over the halfway. If you just joined us, welcome to School Sports Live. We're here at the Standard Bank Grey PE Festival 2019. As I said, 25 years this has been running. Absolutely pristine condition this field is in. I tell you, just as good as any international field looking from here. We've got a bird's eye view thanks to School Sports Live.
Most definitely, this ground is in nick condition. You can see the ref there just having a word with the two hookers about the previous scrum. And obviously, I think they're trying to mention that you've got to wait for his call. Whoever goes in early, I'm going to blow the penalty against them. Yeah.
So Basi Malesu from St Andrews College played EP Craven Week 2018. So did Chris Poole, the number 2 there. Number 2 for St John's, James Ives. He's going to be feeding the ball in. My apologies, Chris Poole is going to be feeding the ball in. Just over the halfway of St Andrews.
Yeah, as most hookers are wishing that the front ball is called with all this wind gusting around.
Yeah, Matthew Hillary again. Oh. There goes Rashmir.
Yeah, double knock on.
Yeah.
As Rashmir ended up getting the ball in hand, and you can see most fly-offs, they don't want to have a ball where they can't have the option to pass and have to take it up, and he just took it up and a slight knock on there, so the ref brought it back. But a good contest there by St John's at the line-out. As we spoke about it, trying to hit the back ball is real tricky in this wind.
Yeah.
So if you can get that front ball, I'd rather opt for that front ball.
Is that just a bit of an inexperience maybe coming through that, guys, a lot of wind, get it closer?
Yeah, I think it's also got to do with young egos. They're saying, listen, we've practiced it, we can defeat it, let's go for the back ball, you know. You get a lot of that, and you can just see there, Chris Poole slightly high at the scrum.
Number 12, Miles Deckwood, still going. Powerful, this man. Unfortunately, might be a bit isolated there. No? Well done to Conrad Stulik. Turn. Right, that's a kick off there. We're here at the Grey PE, the Standard Bank Grey PE Festival. And St Andrews kicking off there. Onto the 22 of St John's. Just join us. I'm here next to Kenny Simba, a legend.
Again, just moving of numbers. St John's weren't quite sure of how many numbers they wanted, and the ref obviously blew that. I think if St John's need to get out of the 22, they've been stuck in there for most of the game and just not able to get out. St Andrews obviously going to try strategize the play here. You can see a couple of pods, and you know who's going to be in that pod. Yeah. The front rowers.
Big leg drive there, Stulik, number 9.
And the next one again.
Here he goes. Malesu, big leg drive backwards. Struvik, Rashmir. Oh, nice big hit there by number 12, Thomas Kilbourne of St John's. Knocking the man back at least 5 meters. Malesu. Rashmir taking it up. Certainly generaling the side at the moment. Struvik.
Yes, and he's varying his game.
Dankwitz. Struvik. Number 8, Matthew Hillary. Ball placed back there by Matthew. Struvik. Now goes number 2, Chris Poole.
A great angle run. He ran for the space, and that's always key to get momentum.
It's got a try already, Chris Paul. Good offload there by number 22, Stuart Smith. So change there been made. Stuart Smith, come on. Struvic, Rashmia, big number 8, Matthew Hillary. Got an entry down there, number 1 for St. John's. Kellers Wills, sorry, my apologies, Wills. Struvic.
Yeah, there had to be a penalty because there was so much advantage. The ref kept on warning the St. John's team just to get on sides. But because there was so much attack, you're going to at some stage give a penalty away. But Chris Poole, great ball runner. You can see he's identifying space. He definitely is a provincial player.
Certainly standout players for me from St. Andrews, number 2, Chris Poole, and looking as well at their number 10. I think their number 10's been a general. A good ball as well coming out from Connor Stulik. So
for sure.
Scrum Off Life working really well together.
Of course, that front row is, the 2 props. They've been dynamic. You can see one is at the front or the line out at the back. I'm sure that has split them up in pods when they're coming around the corner.
I think in the Eastern Cape they call it Amadorda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Chris Paul to put the ball in. I can sure he's going to be going for number 8, Matthew. I was wrong. Good sack there by St. John's. St. John's not committing too many guys to that rack. Kind of standing around watching the ball. St. Andrews, quick ball, Struvic, Rashmia. Oh. Good pressure there by Daniel Deeks. Daniel Deeks did fantastically there to get across and rush defense there. He actually saved a try there, I'd say, can he?
Yeah, definitely. Good back behind pass there.
Another big bollocking run by Barrett.
Oh, there's an overlap here.
Oh.
Yeah, St. John's are really under the gun here. Under pressure because they have to defend. I think most of this half they've been stuck in the 22. It doesn't look like St. Andrews is going to give up.
Oh, Dylan Wilson, did he get it? No. Oh, there's a tug of war there right on the try line. Dylan Wilson, double movement. Number 8, Matthew Hillary, been quite instrumental the last couple of minutes. Rashmia, long pass.
About time.
Lloyd Costa.
It's about time. They had so many overlaps. And finally, they were able to exploit them. And that was a good pass by Guy Rushmore.
Just absorbing the pressure. Absorbing the pressure and a long pass. Brilliant work there by Rashmia. Also Costa running onto the ball at full pace as well.
Definitely, you can see him clapping their hands there, just saying, play me quick. And that cutout one was perfect right in front of the runner's target. They're celebrating. That's a good try by St. Andrews early on in the second half. And St. John's are really struggling now. They've got to get some ball in hand and put pressure on the St. Andrews team if they're going to try and fight back in this game. Will he have better success? Last time the wind was blowing right into his face, and this time it's behind him. Oh, this could make it. And that's a good kick. Excellent. And that's what we're talking about. Using the wind. That was a great kick.
Well, that takes us up to 12-0. St. Andrews leading here against St. John's, the Standard Bank's Great PE Festival here in Port Elizabeth. Been some fantastic games earlier today. Good kick-off there by St. John's, nice and deep. Deeks putting great pressure. I like this player, Deeks.
Very strong runner, and that's about 3 or 4 or 5 break tackles
in
most of this game, and that's a good kick using the wind again.
Clayton Pather passing it down to Tane Maynard. Tane Maynard breaking 3-4 tackles. The big lock, Alexander Groves. Is he not tall timber?
Definitely the tallest timber in schoolboy rugby, I think so. But just threw a 50-50 pass and gave St Andrews again more time to attack.
Rashmir, little chip across, not a bad option there. Into the corner. Not a bad option there by Rashmir, putting the boys back.
Yeah, he did find touch, but I would have preferred him to keep ball in hand because he's got some good runners that are running angles around him, and they've put enough pressure on St John's there to, get extra meters.
I was trying to think of the word to express the two props there, Malesu, number 1 and 3, their legs.
Yeah.
And you'll contemplate this with me. Boababs.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. They definitely look like that, and they've got so much power and speed, and they really have been impressive. I mean, they do stand out as provincial players.
Oh, they're looking good. Ball coming in, James Ives. Oh, cross. That's a poor mistake there by James Ives.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Big number 3, Bame Maleso.
Did he just sidestep? And that's excellent sidestep from a front row.
And there we go.
This is going to be easy.
He deserves a try, does Matthew Hillary.
Definitely deserves.
Certainly stepped up in the last 8 minutes, done some seriously good stuff.
But he's done a lot of the hard work because he's been carrying the ball in most of the second and third pods. He's the first ball carrier.
Yeah.
And, he's definitely been an influential player in this St Andrews team. But what about that sidestep? The front row union must be loving the side of this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then you're looking at locks like Braden Barrett and Daniel Cook.
Yeah, it's a good pack.
Yeah.
It's a good pack. Just unfortunate that the St John's hooker couldn't find the target, overthrew there.
It's so important to win your lineouts and your scrums, and a throw like that, turnover ball.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be a key kick.
Connor Stulich pulling it through.
Oh. Is
Connor
he
Stulich
using the wind or what? And that's excellent. I mean, he did just kick it
I
to
saw
the
you
right.
pull a couple of kicks like that over before.
Yeah, but he's done it so well. I mean, he pushed it right to the right-hand side and it just curled in.
He just didn't celebrate as much
he
as
didn't. He didn't. No. St Andrews are starting to get their rhythm and starting to get some good continuity in this game.
Well, it's a public holiday here in South Africa. It is Freedom Day. We've got viewers from all over the world tuned in right now. Welcome to School Sports Live. And there's a break there by number 12, Miles Dackwood. Going all the way through, Miles Dackwood. Great try. Another man who deserves the accolade.
Definitely, he's really stood out. He's made good meters. That sidestep of his, he really has got a strong sidestep, and he's powerful as well. You can see the size of him. It's a well-balanced side, the St Andrews team.
Certainly.
Definitely. I mean, we've mentioned most of the names, and to pick out a player here is going to be difficult. The man of the match, but it just, St John's didn't cover that pillar. The pillar started drifting out, and he was able to step on the.
That's happening quite a bit in the last games. We've seen that pillar post is opening up a lot.
Yeah,
guys, I think 2 or 3, 4 tries have gone through the pillar post.
And you mentioned it, that I think a lot of sides haven't got a lot of their defensive patterns, and that's why sneaking around the edges of the rucks, quick taps and obviously trying to catch a lot of the sides before they can get their defensive harmony into tact.
So Struvik's got the win with him.
It's going to be a tough kick. This is going to be a real tester.
It's right in the corner.
He kicked one earlier on. Can he follow it up? You can see by the touch judges running the way they were running around, they gave it early. But nevertheless, 24-0, St Andrews are up here. It's been an impressive second opening for the St Andrews team. Definitely a well-balanced side. They're doing their basics, they're getting their lineouts, their scrums are solid. And obviously the 9 and 10 have controlled this game excellently.
Well, St. John's going to have to dig deep here. They're against the wind. Just not getting any momentum so far, and I think they need to start using. They need to get the ball out to those wings. The wings, Deeks and Clayton Pather look good. Look at this, missed tackles, handbags.
My gosh,
good tackle
he has
there.
Broken, I think, close to 25 tackles in this game so far.
Yeah, Rashmir. Big hit by Rashmir.
Yeah,
directly out.
You can definitely tell he's been given a message that, you know, let the wind, use the wind, let the wind guide you. And
well, that takes them all the way back just before their 22 of St. Andrews. Dan, the rugby fan, loving the great live rugby today from at School Sports Live. Hashtag SSL Rugby. Thanks for the stream during load shedding.
And that's a key
the
point.
Poor load shedding.
Load shedding has we got the best of most, but not us.
Yeah. School Sports Live doesn't stop us when it comes to load shedding.
Yeah, St. John's just aren't confident with their lineouts, rather messy, and St. Andrews were able to clean up.
You know, Kenny, you got a number 5 like that who's over 2 meters. They need to use him.
Oh, great pass.
Good tackle there by number 5, Alexander Groves. Good tackle there by number 4 as well, Estienne van der Walt for St. John's. Oh, number 3, Bame Malesu just couldn't hold on to the ball there, knock on.
Yeah, the first mistake they've made, that front rower, but it was a tight line that he ran. He ran a real acute line, and Rashmir just tried to find him, but I think it was just slightly behind him. And as good as they've been, you know, that's a tough pass for a prop to give, but it's good that they're running those types of lines. I mean, you know, besides scrumming and doing their basic fundamentals, they're still able to run lines and get the ball in the open. It's been very impressive. Be interested to see whether the St. Andrews start making some changes. You know, not showing who they're playing up in the fixtures on Saturday. You'd like to see their bench start to make some changes.
Big games coming up after this. Queen's College taking on St. Stithians College. Selborne College then take on Jeppe Boys. And then Grey High School versus Northwood Boys. So some mouth-watering rugby here on School Sports Live. If you're in Port Elizabeth, pop down. We're here at the Grey PE School. This is probably brought to you by Standard Bank. Thanks to Marcus Aurelius, SSL Rugby. Nice one, Lloyd Costa. Thank you, Marcus. Cecil Dooley, come on College, go for the win, boys. St. Andrews. Big number 8. Matthew Henry, it's just been fantastic in the second half. Yeah,
they were trying to contest at the ruck there. He just didn't let go of the ball, did Wills. You can see he's just questioning the ref that I did get there and I was on my feet. That's always the main cry when you get to rucks and you've been blown. But this is just giving St. Andrews more confidence and continuity the way they played. At 24 points to 0 up with 15 minutes gone. They're going to look to try again.
Rashmir certainly
He's been a real general.
He's generaled the game really well.
Yeah. Well, of course, off a platform with such a good forward pack. You know.
Chris Paul couldn't find his player there.
It's the first missed throw that he's had. Can St. John's capitalise?
Good feel off there from Tane Maynard. Good load there off number 3, Nonkolos Dlamini. St. John's on their 10-yard. Oh, hands there by the number 1, Basili Malesto for St. Andrews. Took it by his toenails.
That's good hands for a front row.
Rashmir, long pass. Jason Thomas, leg drive. Who's there first? Chris Paul.
And
then Maynard.
Hillary there
That's
again.
Hillary. Rashmir.
Yeah, that's what tends to happen when you've got so much ball. You start forcing, you know, certain plays. As we spoke, it seems like they're listening to me concentrating. They bring on the whole bench.
Look at that.
But
all the subs.
Yeah, again, St. John's do have the ball, but they're deep in their 22. It's just difficult. I mean, do you decide to clear your lines here, or do you move the ball in hand?
Let's see who's going off there, Kenny. 15, Ryan Ford. Their number 7 as well, Dylan Wilson, had a great game.
Chris Poole also off.
Chris Poole, and then the big boy, Basi Malesu.
Yeah. Some wholesale changes made. And I mean,
as well as Daniel Cook.
With the scoreline as it is, you've got to do that. Of course, they face JP on Saturday, so that's going to be a tough fixture for them, St. Andrews. St. John's trying to get out of their 22, and they've got to run the ball. There's no other option. It's going to be tough because it's slow ball, and St. Andrews' defense has really been good.
Michael Bate, bit stuck there. Good offload there by Cloves. Groves through the tackle. Kenny, a little bit of history with Braden Barrett and Daniel Cook. Tell us about it.
Yeah, of course. You know, interesting enough, you know, also a Zimbabwean-born youngster. I did play with Wayne Barrett in Zimbabwe. Some good players, tough, rugged. They used to dominate us physically. Always used to bully me around the park, but...
What team was that for?
For the Zimbabwe team and some of the club rugby that we used to play in Zimbabwe. But it's good to see the young man, you know, gracing the fields of St. Andrews, and you know, very good team.
Certainly, our thoughts go out to the Zimbabweans. Cyclone Adair. Certainly devastated Mozambique, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And you know, speaking to some of the family back home, you know, it's been a tough time, but not
Groves takes it up for St. John's. Michael Bate. Oh, interesting to be let go there.
Backwards, try to carry a player, but he brought him down safely. That was good. But St. John's have had 3 or 4 phases and now get a penalty against them. It just has been a tough all day. But
I feel for number 9, Michael Bates. It's just he doesn't seem to. As a replay, you can see
Duckworth was about to tip him, and I think he thought of himself that let me bring him down gently, and that was
very smart play by Duckworth.
Very smart play. He's had a good game, hasn't he?
Rashmir going to put it into the corner. Well, you're telling me about a little bit about Zim. You're going to be going back there soon?
Yeah, definitely. We've got of course, a schools festival ourselves. That's called the Timber Rugby Festival. That's international teams. We've got teams from Ireland, England, South African team, Botswana, Namibia. So we've got countries that are coming to play under 18 festival in August. Obviously, depending on what the situation is standing like in Zim.
Fantastic.
That's going to be a good initiative that we're looking to start.
Steve Ross to throw the ball in. Did you get paid in bond or US dollar?
Of course. Either one, we'll take either one, as long as you can transfer it into US dollars.
Ross again. Ross getting stuck in as he's come on. Good support there by number 4, Braden Barrett again. Oh, fantastic work there by the number 21, Andrew Coxwell.
Can you do it again? A bit of magic trick. Share us your magic tricks secret.
Andrew
Why
Coxwell,
don't
you replaced Connor Strulich.
Yeah.
Bam Molesu. Bam Molesu.
Okay. You know, just to identify that call, and he's a front rower to be able to identify that as we hear Queens. Look here. St. Andrews just taking up. Clever enough, the call was made here. He was clever enough just to leave it there. Oh, that's a great play.
Yeah.
That's Bam. Bam puts it down. He's had a good game as well.
He is.
Scrumming in the loose. He's been everywhere. This is a good outfit. It's going to
St.
Takes
Andrews
some good teams to beat them.
running away.
Definitely.
29-0. I think St. John's just haven't. Would I say the opportunities? They've had the opportunities, but certainly just not the first phase ball, and then it's either knock-on or they lose possession.
It's been difficult for them. They've
been a
played
struggle.
Most of the game in their own 22, trying to exit. Looking at exit plays is never the way to play a game. A lot of the boys, some of their heads are hanging down. They had a good victory last week in Johannesburg, and this has been a tough outfit. St. Andrews well drilled.
You're looking at the two wings, Clayton Pather and Daniel Deeks. I mean,
hardly
two big boys hardly touched the ball.
Yeah. Wilson
That's
has
the number 9 again.
Finish this game on a high.
Steve Ross banged it down to the 10-yard. Clayton Pather, long pass to the number 8 there. Tane Manard. Oh, St. Andrews over the ball. Zedi Gondwe. Bait. Thomas Shimali's come on. Bait. Oh. Ow.
Bam is scoring, and now he's giving some
big
tackles. Yeah.
Oh, can we have something here from St. John's? Can we have something from the number 12, Thomas Kilbourne? Oh, good clean out there by number 5, Alexander Groves. Sorry, my apologies. Number 18, Adrian Lappin.
Ref was about to blow it, but I think he just brought it back.
Lappin again. Good low tackle there by the number 4, Braden Barrett. Number 22 taking up Thomas Shumali. Small little dart there by Michael Bate.
Again, the ref indicating that he wasn't supporting his own body weight, but that was a good steal though, because Bate was just a little isolated and wasn't able to get the ball away. And
Bate's trying to get things going.
Yeah.
It's
been very difficult.
That's a good drive up there by St. John's. No. Knock on.
The game's just getting a little messy. You can see that both teams feel
There's
that
a
it's
replay.
done.
And you can see just
Kilbourne here with good stepping. He's just had minimal ball, and we haven't been able to see this. This was a good drive up the middle. Good cleaning there. But a lot of the St. John's backline, Kilbourne, we spoke about their wings, just haven't had enough ball.
Yeah.
A lot of it's been in their own 22, and when you're in your own 22, you're looking to clear the ball so you don't get ball in hand. Let's see if they can finish off this game on a high and try to break this donut. It's never nice to go to a festival and end off on a donut.
The donut.
It makes the
well, look,
festival
St. John's just
do have
over
a chance
there.
here.
Oh, big scrum by St. Andrews.
Knock on. I think the ref didn't pick it up. Yeah.
Not binding. Ref Michael Collier pull them back. Here goes Bate. Long pass to number 12, Kilbourne. Oh, well held there by number 19, Tosflego Kobo. Bate. Oh, young Bates, he's really trying. There goes Groves. Shamali.
Yeah.
Yeah, ball's just going to hand there from Montgomery onto Pather.
Yeah, Montgomery there should have looked to pass it just before the tackle, and that's always the big challenge where you're a player, you want to go into tackle and then offload.
Yeah.
By that time, your support player has just gone, inches the front.
Here comes the replay.
Oh, that's a big hit.
Thomas Shamali offloading there to Lappin.
But that is it. The match is done.
Well, Kenny, I think certainly St. Andrews dictated that game.
Yeah, a good side. with a lot of talent, well-balanced side, some impressive players. You know, it's difficult to name who would have been man of the match, but this whole St Andrews team, a good team. They look like they're well coached. They're St Andrews 31 and St John's 0. It's been a good game here at Grey PE Festival, Port Elizabeth.
Stay tuned to Queen's College taking up on St Stithians next. Yeah, on School Sports Live. Catch us in a bit.